Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So in the new season preview, we also have a look at KULU and her skills in action. We're going to go ahead and break this down and try to evaluate how good is she going to be and which areas is she actually going to be good in. Let's go ahead and begin.
Is KULU, the Blastmaster.
Get ready to be scared.
Physical damage dealer. Okay, as for specializations, they have said arena and AFK stages, and this is what I was predicting. I thought there was no way that she's going to be useful for Dream Realm, and most likely, based off this as well, she's probably going to be passable if you're just more focused on Dream Realm and the meta teams. Now, for arena and AFK stages, we're going to have to see how good she will be for these various areas. She's synergizing with other strong either PvP or AFK stage heroes such as Iron, Siren. Okay, let's get into it. She pulled the enemies towards herself. Oh wait, no, that was Nara. I'm like, what is going on? Two enemies were pulled towards me, but I realized we have two Naras on our own team. Okay, so this is her ultimate skill, Blast Mayhem. When KULU's normal attack hits a target, it triggers, oh, this is like a passive. It triggers an explosion that deals damage to that target and nearby enemies. KULU's skills can damage both enemies and allies, but allies take reduced damage. Okay, so it's like the Hodgkin type mentality where Hodgkin's bombardment could also damage your own allies, but it would be reduced damage. Okay, so even her normal attacks are going to trigger some explosions. That's really interesting. So that can be helpful for AoE damage for AFK stages and PvP. Okay. This is the active. A bombardment of bombs, and then one final blow up at the end. Okay, wow, that was really quick. So the ultimate skill, when KULU actively casts her ultimate, Blast Mayhem, she unleashes her fury, bombarding the enemy side of the battlefield multiple times. Okay, so even though this will deal damage to your allies, it will be on the enemy side, meaning that your ranged heroes are probably going to be safe from this. Each strike hits a random tile, dealing damage to all units on that tile and in the surrounding area. After the bombardment, KULU summons the gigantified Boomboom to deal damage to all units on the enemy side of the battlefield. KULU only casts her ultimate if there are enemies present on their side of the battlefield. She becomes unaffected while casting her ultimate. Okay, unaffected while casting is good. But for AFK stages, definitely you can group up enemies towards the enemy side. She'll be able to get value from this bomb. And it just depends on how much is the damage actually going to be. Is the multiplier going to be insane? Because there are bombs exploding, I would think that there's going to be pretty high damage. And like for AFK stages, definitely the biggest thing which you lack to clear the high deficit stages is damage. So if she has massive damage, then she could be a meta AFK stage hero. Let's continue. Notice her terrain that she sets up these boulders. They have like five health bars, mini health bars that have to be destroyed before you can actually move through the boulder which was set up. That's actually really annoying. The fact that she also sets up an entire boulder along the entire width of the map. So Demolition Zone, when a battle starts, KULU bombs the edge tiles of the enemy side of the battlefield, leaving debris that blocks movement on the affected tiles. The bombing deals damage to units on those tiles and knocks them back. And then it walls them off and they have to break through it. And it's kind of like, it's a bit time consuming for them to break through it, even like for PvP, for example. Let's go ahead and take a look at this again from the beginning. Okay, right at the beginning of the battle, she sets up all of these boulders. And why is everyone attacking the middle boulder? Can you attack all the boulders? Why did they decide to choose the middle one? Like, is it not possible for them to actually destroy the other debris that you have? Is it only the middle one which is destructible? Because it seems really strange that they would all like focus fire the middle one. They should focus fire what is closest to them generally. Because then it kind of like they're just stuck. They can't keep attacking. I think actually you can only destroy the middle. That is insane. But like, this is really strange to me. I feel like this is also going to interfere with your own allies, because then your allies will not be able to move into the enemy side of the territory at the beginning of the battle, because this is at the beginning of the battle that is set up. But I find this really interesting, because we've only had Elsa to set up terrain up until now, but it's been nothing like this. This is like map wide, the whole width of the map. And then they just get stuck. And then she sets it up again. What? The bombing deals damage to units on those tiles and knocks them back. And then one like, makes it through, and then she just sets it up again and knocks him back. Like, can KULU just solo an entire enemy melee team or something? Like, that's what it's looking like. That is so bizarre. Debris at the center of the battlefield can be destroyed after taking a few hits, but only the center. But debris on other tiles are indestructible. Whenever the center debris is destroyed, KULU summons an aerial attack on that tile, landing after a few seconds and covering it with debris once again. Are you kidding me? This is just so strange. I find this really strange, because it's like, but like, I don't know the practical use of this. I think a lot of testing will have to be done to figure out, is this game breaking, or does it actually not matter? The fact that you have this whole debris set up, like against enemy melee teams, that's really where I feel like there's a lot of value. Okay, Walker's gonna get pulled towards our side, and then he's knocked back to the other side. Okay, another skill, Boomboom Bash. KULU summons Boomboom, which bounces between enemies. The first two bounces target the frontmost enemies, devouring them. What? For the last bounce, Boomboom targets the rearmost enemy on the enemy side of the battlefield and releases the devoured enemies upon hitting. Okay, it releases them. It's not actually like, you know, Harok Devour that the hero is no more. She has a lot of crowd control. Each bounce deals damage to its target and adjacent units, reducing their movement speed. Devoured enemies are unable to attack or act and can only take damage from Boomboom. Okay, she does that aerial attack. That's that aerial attack, right? Okay, so there you go. Devour, okay. Land on the enemy on the back. I'm really confused by her kit, because I don't know if this is going to be really good, all of this crowd control, or if it's not actually going to make much of a difference. We'll have to see it in practical applications. For PvP, I really think this amount of crowd control that she has is pretty deadly. Like devouring them, throwing them back at the... I really think that she's going to be kind of strong in PvP. AFK stage is going to be... We'll have to see. Is her damage high enough? Is this crowd control even needed? Because like we have so much crowd control. Iron Almas, cycling Ultimus with the twins. And I don't know if this terrain that she sets up, the debris, is actually going to interfere with your own allies, because they're not going to then be able to move through. They're going to have to break that middle boulder. Okay, Bombs Away exclusive skill. When a battle starts, KULU applies an explosive debuff to all enemies, increasing their damage taken for the rest of the battle. This is like a brand. Like in other games, you have a brand to increase the damage that enemies take. And we've never had a debuff like this. This is just going to amplify damage from all sources. Then she's got to be good for AFK stages, right? And definitely for PvP as well. We'll have to see exactly how much this is actually amplifying damage. But when an enemy with the explosive debuff is defeated, KULU turns them into a Doom Bomb that detonates after a short delay. The explosion deals damage to all units within 2 tiles, plus extra damage equal to a portion of the defeated enemy's initial HP. Okay, let's see an example of that. Look at her normal attacks. They're actually dealing that splash damage, you see. Okay, now is going to turn into a Doom Bomb and then blow up. Honestly, I don't know. It's going to come down to her damage and also the amplification of damage that she will provide with this debuff. But I'm thinking that she's going to be maybe meta for AFK stages. And for PvP, I'm pretty scared. Honestly, she has a lot of crowd control. And like this terrain and stuff. Battlefield division. When a battle starts, KULU bombs the enemy side of the battlefield, creating debris that blocks their movements. The central debris is destructible, but KULU will quickly create more debris to block it again after a short delay. There we go. Aerial attack. Knock him up. And then she sets it up again, right? Look at the devourer. Boom Boom. Kulu summons a gigantified Boom Boom that bounces between enemies, devouring its target. With her ultimate, Kulu can summon Boom Boom to deal damage to all units on the enemy side. I just really like her design. It's such a cool character. There, and then that blow up. The damage looks pretty good. Doom Bomb. Kulu applies an explosive debuff to enemies. When an enemy with this debuff is defeated, Kulu turns them into a Doom Bomb that detonates after a short delay. Yeah. Okay. It actually looks like her AoE splash damage from her normal attacks is higher than her targeted damage. Like, isn't she focus firing the left golem, but the one on the right is taking more damage? Isn't that it? Like, your splash damage is higher than your focus damage. Knockbacks. When Kulu casts Demolition Zone, she teleports to an enemy, knocking them back and dealing damage. Yeah, that's like that aerial attack. Wow, I really think she's cool. Boom. Hey, Team Synergy. Iron, Siren, Bonnie, Prissa. Kulu excels at using her explosives to keep enemies confined to their side of the battlefield while bombarding them relentlessly. Oh, I guess that's the other thing I didn't realize. Her whole game plan is basically keep the enemies locked down in the enemy side so that her bomb from her ultimate can just hit all of them. And that's also the reason why she had like that devour and then teleport those enemies to the backline rearmost hero. So let's see what happens here. She's gonna set up her demolition zone, but is Iron gonna make it to the enemy? No, I see Iron gets stuck. This is what I was kind of like, this seems awkward, right? Like, it's also interfering with your melee heroes. They're not able to make it there in time. Anyway, let's see. Iron and Siren can pull enemies together, which, yeah, gets more explosive value and also the splash damage from her normal attacks. Max, triggered by Kulu's normal attacks and ensuring ultimate has more effectivity. Parissa and Bonnie provide steady range damage and can stay away from the enemy side. That also makes a lot of sense, minimizing the risk of taking damage from Kulu's attacks. Kulu is a cool hero. She is cool. I really like her. And I like her, and I was not expecting to like her. I was planning and thinking she's a complete pass because she's not good for Dream Realm. Because generally, I only like Dream Realm heroes. I'm biased towards them. But like, when a hero has such sort of unique mechanics like this, it's really interesting just to see them. Like, I think it's a really interesting character design. And like, I mean, if the damage is high enough, who knows, she could be a staple for AFK stage pushing. And in this new season, we actually, I don't think, have a daily cap for AFK stages. I think it's going to be a stage cap because we have 3 stages across the season. So I think there's not going to be a cap other than a stage cap, which, I mean, you're not going to be able to hit on the first day or first few days. And so, like, then AFK stage pushing becomes really important. Of course, we have to wait and see. Like, this is just my speculation. We have no hard evidence, and like, don't recruit Kulu on day 1 until we have the hard evidence. Okay, so overall, my opinions on Kulu is, I think, a very interesting design. I'm pleasantly surprised by her. I thought that I was not going to be as impressed as I currently am with her because she has no Dream Realm use, and she definitely has no Dream Realm use. Don't get that wrong. She is only either a PvP or AFK stage hero, and like, for PvP, that is usually not a recommendation to invest into Celestial Hypergenes who are purely for PvP. And even if you did want to do something like that, Athalia probably is still better than Kulu if you're just talking about raw PvP power. But for AFK stages, that's where I'm really looking. I'm being interested by Kulu. I have a feeling, and it definitely seems like it, that she might become meta for AFK stages, especially because of that debuff she applies on the enemies, which is kind of like a brand to amplify the damage I believe that your other allies deal to the enemies. I don't think it's only herself. And she deals splash damage with her normal attacks. I can definitely see her as being a top damage contributor for AFK stages, as well as her crowd control that she offers. So it's looking like an AFK stage, potentially powerhouse hero. And that is also exciting for people who like to push AFK stages. And like in the new season, if there isn't the daily AFK stage cap, then it will be even more important to actually maybe invest into AFK stage heroes. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But if you're talking about what level should you take her to, if you're planning to build up for AFK stages, Supreme Plus is the way to go. I mean, some people like to min-max everything, Paragon their damages for AFK stages, but I don't really recommend that. I think Supreme Plus for AFK stages, Paragon should only be reserved if you're trying to use her in a top tier team for PvP. But overall, I'm impressed by her. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of KULU on this first look? Do you think you're going to be recruiting for her, or do you think you're going to be passing her? Again, for the majority of players, it still will probably be a pass because she doesn't have Dream Realm use, and like later on in the season, we could get a better Celestial Hypogean catered towards Dream Realm, so that's something you have to keep in mind. Don't like get into the hype of KULU and then end up not having enough resources for maybe a better hero down the line, because that does happen. We don't know if we're going to get 2 or 3 Celestial Hypogeans this season. Nothing has been revealed as of right now. But as soon as we get the information, of course, I'll be updating you guys. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Firelight store for AFK Journey. A link will be in the description and is also a pinned comment. If you use this link, it will support me at no extra cost to you, and also you gain 5% bonus dragon crystals, because this is how the Firelight store works. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.